In this video, we'll be telling you about the 9 types of toxic, low-value men to avoid dating or marrying. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, then you deserve to be with a high-value man that treats you right. Unfortunately, many women find themselves stuck with toxic, low-value men who only make them more miserable. Being with a low-value man might feel good in the start, but you'll end up experiencing lots of confusing emotions rushing through your entire body. You'll have hot and cold moments with your partner, but you'll also find yourself addicted to them. The craziest part of it all is that being with low-value man will make you want to run away, yet you'll crave to go back to him immediately. That's how complicated this type of love is. As a high-value woman, you should respect yourself enough to never waste your time with a low-value man. Now, here are the 10 types of toxic men that you should avoid dating at all costs. Number 1. The bad boy. Let's be honest, dating a bad boy is the most toxic thing you can do to yourself. But he's just too addicting and good-looking to let go, right? Unfortunately, bad boys bring lots of adrenaline into your life. You constantly feel like you're in a rush. He'll fill your nights with experiences and emotions you haven't even imagined before. In fact, he'll make you feel like you're the only woman in the world. Bad boys can keep you under their spell with passion that blows your mind and body. You won't even notice that you're dating a bad boy until it's too late. So how do you avoid dating a bad boy? Well, start noticing if he's slacking off on your dates or forgetting his promises. If he's always making mistakes and apologizing for them by saying that he'll make it up to you later, then chances are he's a bad boy. Bad boys tend to get into stupid fights and do illegal things that he never tells you about. But one day or another, you'll hear some rumors about him or see him getting into trouble. After that, he'll tell you how extremely sorry he is, and you'll end up forgiving him because he's just so charming. Even if he makes a huge mistake and hurts you, he'll promise to change for you. He'll say things like, "I've never felt this way around another woman," that make your heart melt. Unfortunately, he is a bad boy who will drag you down with him. It's better to avoid dating him in the first place if you don't want to get caught up in a series of unfortunate events. Number 2. The unemployed man. You know he's looking for a good job, right? This type of man will wait for the best job in the world to come to him one day. Until then, he won't take any other job because it's below his level. He's an unrealistic person who would rather sit around and do nothing than to make money. He thinks other people are obliged to give him money and that he's doing himself a favor by waiting for the right job to come along. Instead of getting a job, he'll take infinite loans from his friends and family. When they refuse to pay his bills any longer, he'll start asking you for cash too. Even if you lend him money because you think you're investing in his future, he'll keep spending all that cash on unnecessary things. He'll keep telling you that he's going to pay you back, but you won't know whether that day will be in this life or the next one. If you see a man like that, you need to understand that he's not high value. He's not investing in his own future or trying to build an empire for himself. So why should you waste your time with him? Number 3. The serial cheater. Everybody would agree that cheaters are the most toxic type of men to avoid. If you know somebody who was a cheater before, chances are he's going to cheat again. Some men are too caught up with cheating on their partners because they're never happy with one person. They want to be with multiple girls at once to satisfy their egos. Unfortunately, it's hard to recognize a serial cheater. In most cases, women only find the truth when it's too late. But if you've caught a man cheating once, then you should know that there will certainly be a second time as well. Successful relationships are based on mutual respect, trust, and commitment. If a man cheats on you, he certainly doesn't respect you. You might think it's a good idea to forgive him and move on, but that's not always the right thing to do. Once a man cheats on you, it's better to pack your bags and leave. As a high-value woman, you shouldn't have to deal with a man who doesn't respect you enough. Number 4. The unrealistic dream chaser. Everyone has dreams and ambitions in life. Without them, our lives would be meaningless. But this type of low-value man has too many dreams. In fact, he has unrealistic goals that can't be achieved. The good news is that you can easily spot an unrealistic dream chaser. If he's 30-something years old but believes that he has an undiscovered talent to sing or dance, then he's most likely a dream chaser. The worst part of it all is that this guy hasn't achieved anything in life yet. Still, he's somehow convinced that you're his golden stroke of luck, and with you by his side, he can achieve anything. It's important to remind yourself that if he wanted to make his dreams come true, he would already be halfway there. He would have an actionable strategy and decent plan to achieve his goals in the long run. But if he's still living in his fantasy world, thinking that everything will magically fall into place one day, he's just toxic. If you want to maintain your status as a high-value woman, we only have one piece of advice for you. Leave this dreamland and never look back. Number 5. The workaholic. He works 15 hours a day, never has time to see you, and always postpones your plans. Does that sound relatable? The truth is that nobody wants to date a workaholic because it's exhausting. You can never plan holidays with this guy because he always has some important project to work on. In fact, you'll often find him taking rain checks on your dates because he's working late. Making plans with a workaholic is a nightmare. Even something as simple as having dinner together sounds impossible because he always seems to be under some kind of huge pressure at work. If his whole life revolves around his office and work, then he's not the man for you. Unfortunately, many women end up with workaholic men because they think he's passionate and ambitious. However, the sad truth is that he's simply obsessed with his work because it fuels his ego. Achieving anything in his workplace boosts his self-esteem and makes him feel good about himself. And that's why he's addicted to it. Planning a future with this person is a horrifying mistake. It's good to have goals and ambitions, but a high-value man will know how to balance everything in his life perfectly. He'll have time for both you and his work, and you won't have to be the one making compromises every week. Number 6. The mama's boy. If you want to take one piece of advice from this entire video, then we'd ask you to never date a mama's boy. This type of man isn't looking for a partner, he's simply looking for a caretaker. Dating or marrying a mama's boy means being compared to his mother every day. In fact, he'll call her every day and share all his thoughts and feelings with her. If the two of you ever have an argument, then his mom will be the first person to hear about it. You can't expect a mama's boy to be mature because he's still dependent on his mother. He'll expect you to cook the same dishes as her, dress like her, and even treat him the way she does. Unfortunately, you might think he's being adorable if he makes you meet his mother on the second date. But sooner or later, you'll realize that you're stuck with an immature person who can't make any decisions without validation from his mother. This type of man doesn't need you to be his partner. He needs you to be his babysitter. Unless you're planning on adopting a man-child, stay away from a mama's boy at all costs. Number 7. The low-key alcoholic. He'll tell you he doesn't have a drinking problem, but shows up drunk every single night. For this type of low-value man, we can start on a Friday afternoon with a huge crate of beer and end on a Sunday evening with a pile of any cheap tequila he can find. In fact, it doesn't even matter what day of the week it is. If the club is open, he'll be there with his most toxic group of friends. This type of man needs to go to the club every day, even if it's only for an hour or two. The problem with dating or marrying a man like this is that he'll always be out of control. Anyone who can't be careful with how much alcohol they're consuming is clearly impulsive and erratic. At the end of the day, you're going to be the one who deals with this hangover every morning. If you're looking for a man to plan a future with, then stay away from anyone who considers the club his second home. Number 8. The blamer. This type of man thinks everyone in the world is out to get him. No matter what happens in his life, he'll always find somebody to blame. Being with a blamer is a nightmare. Every time you get into an argument, he'll always blame you for everything. Even if you're the nicest person in the world, he'll still go the extra mile to find something to pin against you. The problem with these men is that they have no sense of accountability. They always look to other people to do things for them instead of realizing that they have to fight some battles alone. If you find yourself dating a blamer, prepare to be gaslighted all the time. In fact, blamers can go to the extent of saying that you pushed them to be dishonest and disloyal to you. He'll never sit down to have serious conversations with you because he doesn't feel like it's his responsibility to do that. But if you ever make a decision that doesn't turn out well, then he's going to blame you anyway. Unless you want to be stuck in a constant loop of feeling gaslighted and insecure, stay away from this type of man. Number 9. The Golden Boy. Golden boys are born with a silver spoon in their mouths. They have all the money in the world, and their entire personality revolves around how rich they are. This toxic type of man will be very popular. He likes to spend as much money as he can because his parents will always give him more. If you start dating a man like this, then he'll only see you as another piece of jewelry in his life. Once he finds someone new, you might start to look very rusty in his eyes. Their only goal is to show off their wealth, which isn't even theirs. They don't want to be successful in life because they've gotten everything handed to them on a silver platter their whole life. If you're a high-value woman who wants to build an empire for herself, then it's best to stay away from a golden boy. Most of the men you meet will look like a combination of these 9 types of toxic personalities. It's important to keep your eyes open when dating a new man. Before you commit to anything serious, make sure he truly loves and respects you. And that's a wrap for this video. Have you dated any of these toxic low-value men? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out other videos on our channel. Click now to watch.